Welcome to Happy Aura, a calm space in a loud world. Slow down, breathe deep, and enjoy wisdom. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. This is not a cynical warning whispered in dim corridors, but a sober truth that anyone who has dealt with contracts, partnerships, or investments for more than a few seasons knows all too well. The marketplace, whether it's the cobblestone streets of an old bazaar or the glass towers of a modern financial district, has always attracted both visionaries and vultures. One deals in opportunity, the other in illusion. The first step toward thriving in this environment is to recognize that trickery does not always wear a villain's mask. It is rarely as obvious as a forged signature or a disappearing cashier. More often, it comes cloaked in charm, delivered with a smile, and wrapped in language that sounds reasonable. The promises are alluring. Profits without risk, partnerships without compromise, growth without patience. But if the history of business teaches anything, it is that every venture has its cost, every deal its hidden clause. Caution, then, is not paranoia. It is a form of respect for your own work, for the value of what you've built, and for the reality that not everyone shares your standards. Before you sign, research. Before you invest, verify. And before you trust, observe. This discipline is not the enemy of ambition. It is the armor that keeps ambition alive. Yet caution alone is not enough, for a life spent only in defense will never taste the victories that risk can bring. The world is indeed full of trickery, but it is also full of virtue. Every day, in industries and offices across the globe, there are people striving for high ideals, innovators who refuse to cut corners, leaders who protect their teams at personal cost, entrepreneurs who believe that profit and integrity can walk hand in hand. These people exist, though they rarely make headlines. Their work is slower, more deliberate, less flashy than those who build empires overnight by bending the truth. But over time, their enterprises tend to outlast the empires of deceit. They cultivate trust like an orchard, knowing that loyalty and reputation are assets more valuable than quick capital. If the dishonest thrive in the short term, it is often because they know something about human nature. We want to believe the easy version of the story. We want the shortcut, the guarantee, the perfect partner who never disagrees. That is why they sell illusions so effectively. But the honest thrive in the long term because they understand something deeper. The best relationships, whether in business or life, are forged not in perfection, but in shared effort, transparency, and resilience. To live by this principle means refusing to become hardened by the betrayals you will inevitably face. Every entrepreneur, artist, or professional who has been in the field long enough carries scars from deals gone wrong. The danger is not the scar itself, but the temptation to let it calcify into bitterness. When that happens, trust becomes impossible, and without trust, collaboration dies. This is why the second half of the lesson is as important as the first. Let not caution blind you to what virtue there is. Do not let one dishonest supplier convince you that all suppliers are thieves. Do not let one manipulative client convince you that all clients are liars. And do not let one failed partnership convince you that partnerships are doomed. Life is full of heroism, and it does not always wear a cape. It shows up in the employee who stays late to finish a project without being asked, in the competitor who calls to warn you of a mistake that could cost you dearly, in the mentor who opens their network to you without asking for anything in return. These moments of integrity, though quieter than the scandals, are the foundation on which the world still stands. In my own dealings, I have learned that you can spot genuine virtue not by listening to what someone says about their values, but by watching how they act when those values cost them something. The business partner who insists on honoring an inconvenient clause in your favor, even when they could exploit a loophole, that's a sign. The client who admits they misunderstood the scope and pays you extra without you having to chase them, that's another. And the colleague who gives you credit for work you did, even when it would be easy to claim it, that's a rare and precious thing. To recognize these moments, you must keep your eyes open in two directions, one toward the risks and one toward the ideals. A balance of skepticism and hope. This balance is not easy. Lean too far toward skepticism, and you see every handshake as a setup. Lean too far toward hope, and you become an easy mark. The discipline lies in keeping both truths alive in your mind at once. The world can deceive you, and the world can surprise you with its goodness. Heroism in business often looks like perseverance. Not the grand, cinematic kind, but the quiet, daily choice to keep your standards when no one is watching. It is the courage to fire a profitable client who treats your staff poorly. It is the patience to grow a product slowly, testing it rigorously, rather than rushing to market for a quick payout. It is the humility to admit a mistake publicly and make it right, knowing that short-term embarrassment is a fair price for long-term trust. Some might say that this is idealistic, that the real world rewards only those willing to bend the rules. But the real world is not static. It is shaped by the people who participate in it. When enough individuals insist on playing fair, the game changes. Perhaps not overnight, perhaps not in every corner, but enough to make a difference in the circles where you operate. The paradox is that the same qualities that protect you from trickery, due diligence, careful judgment, refusal to rush, also prepare you to recognize true allies when they appear. A cautious mind is not easily fooled, but it is also capable of deep appreciation for honesty when it encounters it. Over the years, I have seen industries change hands, Technologies disrupt entire markets. Fortunes rise and collapse like waves. Through all this, the people who endure are not always the most aggressive, nor the most brilliant, but often the ones who can hold both caution and faith without letting one extinguish the other. They are the ones who can say, I will protect what I've built, but I will not wall myself off from possibility. I will assume the best in people until they give me reason not to, and I will act with the best in myself regardless of whether others do the same. The truth is, in every deal you make, there is more at stake than money. You are also trading in reputation, in relationships, in the stories people will tell about you when you are not in the room. A good reputation can outlast a bad quarter. A bad reputation can destroy years of profit. In the end, people remember how you made them feel, not just what you delivered. So, exercise caution. Read the fine print. Ask the extra question. But also, extend the hand when it feels right. Offer the benefit of the doubt to those who have earned it. And when you find those rare individuals who combine competence with integrity, treat them like the treasures they are. They are the ones who make the risk of business worth taking. Above all, remember that trickery may be a part of the world, but it does not define it. Integrity, though less noisy, has a way of leaving the deeper mark. Your job, in both business and life, is to navigate the noise without losing sight of the signal. Caution will keep you standing. Trust, wisely placed, will help you move forward. Because at the end of all the contracts and negotiations, after the gains and the losses, what remains is not the number in your account, but the way you played the game. And that, in the long view of history, is where the real wealth lies.